Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. This is going to be a live tutorial for the game Earth. I say live because I've got someone next to me who has played this game with me. I think at least they have definitely played it digitally, but I'm just going to show them the physical version. They're not going to say anything. It's mainly in case you hear a cough, a sniff, a breathe or anything like that. But also, of course, I'm very curious to know what they think of it. But again, they won't be saying anything. So there's 5 different boards. That's why you might hear my voice change a bit because I'm like turning around to see that they've got different boards. So we're going to play with a board each. Again, this comes with an insert. The base game does not come with that as standard. We're going to play through a number of cards, and the aim of the game is to get as many points as you can from these cards, and the game will end once you've got out a 4x4 grid, making a total of 16 cards. And if you're the first person to do so, you're going to get yourself a bonus 7 points. We're going to have various flora cards out as well. The first person to complete any of them will get 15 points, the next gets 11, etc. And what we'll be doing is ultimately, if you are the start player on that particular turn, then you'll get priority to get those points. Equally, you'd get those 7 points too. So we have that board out as well. We're going to play again with fresh flora cards. In this case, we're playing with Tree-Eyed Tree Frog or Red-Eyed Tree Frog. You're trying to get 3 cards which have got this banner on it, which I'll show what it looks like in a second. Something like these kind of cards will have things on them down the bottom. As you can see, if you've got the green one, you want 3 of them. And again, you'll get 15 points if you're the first to do so. Next up, we've got the Atlantic Puffin, 10 cards with an even cost or equal victory card condition going on here. So that even 0 counts as even in this case. We have the Red Squirrel, 9 flora, each with at least 1 sprout on them. Over here, we have got the Arctic Fox, 8 cards with this snowflake habitat. So what do these things look like? Well, if we look at this next card and next few cards, we can see, oh, that's interesting. We've shuffled these cards up and all these event cards have come up together. But here, for example, you can see various habitats. So this one would help you towards one of those things. Here's the victory point score at the end of the game. So if there was an even, you're going to count towards that as well. So that's how that's going to look. Now, next up, we've also got the first player marker, which is going to take this thing here. And it's going to move each turn. We've also got this marker, which says we're going to be triggering one of these 4 types of actions on the turn. So everyone's going to trigger this one, which in this case, if you trigger the green one, then all of your green cards in your tableau, you'll be able to trigger that. And then you can draw cards, or you can do the top action and then trigger all of your cards. Now, when you trigger all of your cards in that 4x4 grid, you're going to start top left to bottom right. And in this case, you can draw 2 cards. Then you're going to draw an additional 4 cards and keep 1 of them. Everybody else will draw 1 card, or play 1 card, and then draw 1 card. So this is play 2 cards, draw 4, and keep 1 of them. So I did correct myself there. This one is, well, to pay the cost of these, you need soil. So you can do this action instead to get 5 soil, and lets you compost 2 cards from the deck. Cards in your compost deck will score 2 victory points at the end of the game. So in this case 2, but you could have 20. I've had 30 plus before. That's 30 plus points. Everybody else will get 2 soil and 2 cards will go into their deck instead of that. So you can either get 2 soil to help you get more cards, or you can just compost cards from the deck to get yourself straight up points. This gets you sprouts. So on your cards like this, you can choose to pay the cost. So again, this one, you'll need soil first to then bring out a card. This action lets you bring out 6 sprouts wherever you've got cards. So only 6 in total, but you could place 6 on here because there's a space for 6. And then you're going to get 2 soil as well. Everybody else is either getting 2 sprouts on a card which can take sprouts, or you're going to get 2 soil. Over here, you're going to draw 4 cards and place 2 growth, which is going to go on here. So 1, 2. Maximum is 5. The 5th one is going to be a canopy. The rest are trunks. I'll show you those in a second. But 9 points at the end of the game if you get to the top. If not, you're getting 1 point for each piece of growth. So 4 pieces get you 4 points as an example. 1 would get you 1 point. Everybody else is either going to be drawing 2 cards or getting 2 growth. Again, you would need to have a card which has got a growth on it as well. That's how that's going to work. So again, that's how it's going to be triggering. Again, if you're doing any of these 3 actions, like here as well, you can either get this action first and then do this, or again, if you are the other players, you can trigger this, then this in any order. But crucially, this allows you to play any red cards. This one lets you play any rainbow cards. So trigger this action and then trigger all your reds and rainbows, or reds and rainbows, then trigger this action. So in this case, you could maybe get some soil, spend 1 soil to get yourself 2 growth. That's how that can work. So lots of different cards to play with. There's 283 cards. Sometimes there are other conditions, such as terrain cards. If you play these out, there's a 47% chance of you finding cards that have got this requirement, which is getting 2 points for each habitat with that snowflake symbol in anyone's area. So if you have it, maybe you've got it first. Also, we're going to have an island card. It's going to be shuffling up 2 cards and keeping 1. And therefore you can pick what you want to have. So for example, you can start off with 8 cards. You're going to get rid of 5 cards. So they're going to go in your compost piles. That's 5 points into the game. You'll get 4 points for this card. And you'll also get 6 soil, which you'll use to help pay for cards. And also whenever you take the yellow action, which is this final action here, you get 2 growth if you chose the yellow action. So only if you chose it or if somebody else chose it. You could do the other side, which is getting 5 cards, compost a card. You have 4 compost, 4 soil, and anytime you trigger the green action, then you plant this turn, you can get 2 soil, or you can choose to, well, you get 2 soil for every red card you planted this turn. And then you've got this one over here, which again is similar. Also, we're going to have a climate card each, so you're going to take 2 of these at random. So I'll take these 2, let's say. I can pick one of these 2 things. As an example, I can choose to not compost the card, so remove a card if I've got one in my compost pile to draw 2 cards. I could choose to have, if I have 2 soil, composted if you chose the red action. So various things you can do. So I'll pick those as my cards and pick one of those things. And the last thing to do is everyone is going to have another thing to work towards. So we're going to shuffle these up and go through these as well. Yeah, I haven't played these ones yet. So we've got this one, which is 6. You can get 6 victory points if you have in a row with 4 cards. For each, and then each of the different type. So you've got to have each of those different things for each row that you've got of different type. So what you're trying to, I'll show you how it works in a second. And this one, you can get 6 for each different types of symbol or kind of card type. And this one's going to go in the center. So everyone's going to work off the central card. Those are the central ones. This one is just on my board, but I can choose the other side as well if I want to. And this is 3 points for every 5 sprouts in your tableau. Whereas this one is I get 2 points for every 3 growth in your tableau. So my opponent will have this card and they can pick which side they want to use as well. You're going to tot up your score based on how you've done, based on these ecosystem cards, based on these flora cards down here as well, and ultimately see how well you do and see who gets the best score. And that is the game. Again, as soon as someone triggers 16, that is the end of the game. Now, let's just quickly open this up just to show these growth pieces. So you're going to either have trunks, you're going to have a canopy, which is the final piece, and you can have sprouts here. You can pay for soil with a cost of either 1, 5, or 10. Any questions, always do let me know by the comments best on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Again, this is being filmed. I needed to have both hands free to do so. But yeah, like I said, I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Here we go. These are all going to come out. The last thing I haven't done is the score pad. Where's it lifted here? And we need to give everybody a player. So I won't ask my opponent what colour they want to be. But yes, we're going to have to place these out as and when we do so to score up. Bit of a messy video, again, because of the way I've done this. But as you can see, you can try and trigger everything. But again, look forward to speaking to you in the next video, which might be a bit cleaner, perhaps with me doing it hands-free. But again, yeah, like, subscribe to the notification bell, check out the comments on YouTube, also on Instagram as well. But for now, thanks for watching. Enjoy Earth, back to the table.